Luke chapter 19. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man named Zacchaeus lived there. He was a chief tax collector and was very rich. Zacchaeus wanted to see who Jesus was, but he was a short man. He could not see Jesus because of the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree. He wanted to see Jesus, who was coming that way. Jesus reached the spot where Zacchaeus was. He looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, come down at once. I must stay at your house today." So Zacchaeus came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this. They began to whisper among themselves. They said, "Jesus has gone to be the guest of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood up. He said, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of what I own to those who are poor. And if I cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay it back. I will pay back 4 times the amount I took." Jesus said to Zacchaeus, "Today salvation has come to your house. You are a member of Abraham's family line. The Son of Man came to look for the lost and save them." While the people were listening to these things, Jesus told them a story. He was near Jerusalem. The people thought that God's kingdom was going to appear right away. Jesus said, "A man from an important family went to a country far away. He went there to be made king and then returned home. So he sent for 10 of his slaves. He gave them each about 3 months' pay. Put this money to work until I come back." He said, but those he ruled over hated him. They sent some messengers after him, and they were sent to say, "We don't want this man to be our king." But he was made king and returned home. Then he sent for the slaves he had given the money to. He wanted to find out what they had earned with it. The first one came to him. He said, "Sir, your money has earned 10 times as much." "You have done well, my good slave." His master replied, "You have been faithful in a very small matter, so I will put you in charge of 10 towns." The second slave came to his master. He said, "Sir, your money has earned 5 times as much." His master answered, "I will put you in charge of 5 towns." Then another slave came. He said, "Sir, here's your money. I have kept it hidden in a piece of cloth. I was afraid of you. You are a hard man. You take out what you did not put in. You harvest what you did not plant." His master replied, "I will judge you by your own words, you evil slave. So you knew that I am a hard man? You knew that I take out what I did not put in? You knew that I harvest what I did not plant? Then why didn't you put my money in the bank? When I came back, I could have collected it with interest." Then he said to those standing by, "Take this money away from him. Give it to the one who has 10 times as much." "Sir," they said, "he already has 10 times as much." He replied, "I tell you that everyone who has will be given more. But here is what will happen to anyone who has nothing. Even what they have will be taken away from them. And what about my enemies who did not want me to be king over them? Bring them here, kill them in front of me." After Jesus had said this, he went on ahead. He was going up to Jerusalem. He approached Bethphage and Bethany, the hill that was called the Mountain of Olives. Jesus sent out 2 of his disciples. He said to them, "Go to the village ahead of you. As soon as you get there, you will find a donkey's colt tied up. No one has ever ridden in. Untie it and bring it here." Someone may ask you, "Why are you untying it?" If so, say, "The Lord needs it." Those who were sent ahead went and found a young donkey. It was there just as Jesus had told them. They were untying the colt when its owners came. The owners asked them, "Why are you untying the colt?" They replied, "The Lord needs it." Then the disciples brought the colt to Jesus. They threw their coats on the young donkey and put Jesus on it. As he went along, people spread their coats on the road. Jesus came near the place where the road goes down the Mount of Olives. There the whole crowd of disciples began to praise God with joy. In loud voices they praised him for all the miracles they had seen. They shouted, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. May there be peace and glory in the highest heaven." Some of the Pharisees in the crowd spoke to Jesus. "Teacher," they said, "tell your disciples to stop." "I tell you," he replied, "if they keep quiet, the stones will cry out." He approached Jerusalem. When he saw the city, he began to weep. He said, "I wish you had known today what would bring you peace. But now it is hidden from your eyes. The days will come when your enemies will arrive. They will build a wall of dirt up against your city. They will surround you and close you in on every side. You didn't recognize the time when God came to you, so your enemies will smash you to the ground. They will destroy you and all the people inside your walls. They will not leave one stone on the top of another. Then just enter the temple courtyard. He began to drive out those who were selling there. He told them, "It is written that the Lord said, 'My house will be a house where the people can pray.' But you have made it a den for robbers." Every day Jesus was teaching at the temple, but the chief priest and the teacher of the law were trying to kill him. So were the leaders among the people. But they couldn't find any way to do it. All the people were paying close attention to his words. Luke chapter 20. One day, Jesus was teaching the people in the temple courtyard. He was announcing the good news to the dead. Then chief priests and the teacher of the law came up to him. The elders came with them. "Tell us what authority you are doing these things." They all said, "Who gave you this authority?" Jesus replied, "I will also ask you a question. Tell me, was John's baptism from heaven, or did it come from people?" They talked to one another about it. They said, "If we say from heaven, he will ask, 'Why didn't you believe him?' But if we say from people, all the people will throw stones at us and kill us." They believed that John was a prophet. So they answered Jesus, "We don't know where John's baptism came from." Jesus said, "Then I won't tell you by what authority I am doing these things either." Jesus went on to tell the people a story. A man planted a vineyard. He said he rented it out to some farmers. Then he went away for a long time. At harvest time, he sent a slave to the renters. They were supposed to give him some of the fruit of the vineyard, but the renter beat the slave. And then they sent him away with nothing. So the man sent another slave. They beat that one and treated him badly. They also sent him away with nothing. The man sent a third slave. The renters wounded him and threw him out. Then the owner of the vineyard said, "What should I do? I have a son and I love him. I will send him. Maybe they will respect him." But when the renters saw the son, they talked the matter over. "This is the one who will receive all the owner's property someday." They said, "Let's kill him. Then everything will be ours." So they threw him out of the vineyard and they killed him. What will the owner of the vineyard do to the renters? He will come and kill them. He will give the vineyard to others. When the people heard this, they said, "We hope this never happens." Jesus looked right at them and said, "Here is something I want you to explain the meaning of. It is written, 'The stone the builders didn't accept has become the most important stone of all. Everyone who falls on that stone will be broken to pieces, but the stone will crush anyone it falls on." The teachers of the law and the chief priests looked for a way to arrest Jesus at once. They knew he had told that story against them, but they were afraid of those people. The religious leaders sent spies to keep a close watch on Jesus. The spies pretended to be sincere. They hoped they could trap Jesus with something he would say. Then they could hand him over to the power and authority of the governor. So the spies questioned Jesus. "Teacher," they said, "we know that you speak and teach what is right. We know you don't favor one person over another. You teach the way of God truthfully. It is right for us to pay taxes of Caesar or not." Just so they were trying to trick him. So he said to them, "Show me a silver coin. Whose picture and words are on it?" "Caesar's," they replied. He said to them, "Then give back to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give back to God what belongs to God." They were not able to trap him with what he said there in front of all the people. Amazed by his answer, they became silent. The Sadducees do not believe that people rise from the dead. Some of them came to Jesus with a question. "Teacher," they said, "Moses wrote for us about a man's brother who dies. Suppose the brother leaves a wife but has no children. Then the man must marry the widow. He must provide children to carry on his dead brother's name. There were 7 brothers. The first one married a woman. He died without leaving any children. The second one married her, and then the third one married her. And one after another, the 7 brothers married her. They all died. None left any children. Finally, the woman died too. Now then, when the dead rise, whose wife will she be? Her 7 brothers were married to her. Jesus replied, people in this world get married and their parents give them to be married, but it will not be like that when the dead rise. Those who are considered worthy to take part in the world to come won't get married, and their parents won't give them to be married. They cannot die anymore. They are like the angels. They are God's children. They will be given a new form of life when the dead rise. Remember the story of Moses and the burning bush. Even Moses showed that the dead rise. The Lord said to him, I am the God of Abraham, I am the God of Isaac, and I am the God of Jacob. He is not the God of dead. He is the God of the living. In his eyes, everyone is alive. Some of the teachers of the law replied, You have spoken well, teacher, and no one dared to ask him any more questions. Jesus said to them, Why do people say that the Messiah is the son of David? David himself says in the book of Psalms, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your control. David calls him Lord, so how can he be David's son? All the people were listening. Jesus said to his disciples, Watch out for the teachers of the law. They like to walk around in long robes. They love to be greeted with respect in the market. They love to have the most important seats at the synagogues. They also love to have the places of honor at banquets. They take over the houses of widows. They say long prayers to show off. God will punish these men very much.